for this afternoon. So we've asked Mary Ann and Elmer's family and Dick and Sharon's family to each provide someone who would just give a few remarks about Ronnie and Arnie. And I think Bard, Sean, and I are prepared, have prepared some comments as well. So why don't we start with Mary Ann, your family first, and then we'll have Dick's family do that. And after that, why don't we follow with Sean, Bard, and myself in that order.
I can go last.
Nice being the eldest.
That's right.
Trey?
Yes.
To the Alford family.
Oh,
$3.
three. Three for the pictures.
$50. And Gary?
To Sherry.
Not to Trey's.
That's right, because I'll spend it on something foolish like food.
You're great, Gary. Thank you. No one.
No, Lisa will
Oh, the
never
club,
pay.
yeah. Smile, whoever you are, hugger.
You'll never collect from my wife.
Your diaper's wet. I got myself pug. I think it's McKenzie, but I could do wrong.
Can you hear us there? Right here? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Marianne, you have a tight
Say your mama. Okay, well, no.
Here? Everybody see?
You better get over closer. You gonna stand there? Okay, well, what we're gonna do, and I hope that this is in the spirit of the program.
There is no spirit. No spirit at all. Just
Oh, okay.
go ahead and do what you want.
Spirit means good sports.
Do we want to invite the people on the playground? No, but this is a participation game that we're going to play. What we're going to do is Mary Ann and I are going to present a word, a phrase, a picture, or some kind of action related in some way to Ron and Arnie. And what we're going to ask you to do is guess what it is. Okay? Don't look at the papers. Okay, does everybody understand?
Sort of.
Okay.
You'll get into it.
But we're ready.
And there's prizes.
I'm ready!
Okay,
Down, doggy.
so you can, I got an easy one for us to start on, okay? And it's a phrase. Listen close. I'll only say it once.
Oh, you will know.
Say
it one more time.
Okay. A check in the red.
To try.
Socks.
He says that in every question. Check in the red.
A check in the red. Is that wrong or right?
Does it have
No.
to do
It was
with
an attempt.
Why does he get candy?
Well, say something.
Blue. Don't pass that anymore for foundation. Okay.
You eat that.
Anybody else? A check in the red.
A check in the red.
You're guessing an answer.
This is one of the easy ones.
It's Arnie's socks.
That's Chelsea. Close. Kevin, that's close.
Arnie's slacks.
Right.
Oh, good.
Right. The real answer is Arnie's pants that he won't be able to wear for the next 3 years. Okay, now we're in the drink.
What does check have to do with it?
Okay, bring it in.
Check in red? Have you never seen his red checkered pants? Oh, a check in the red.
Okay.
Okay, here's the next one.
We'll get
Periscope.
Periscope?
Periscope.
What is one?
RoLayne's bun.
Well, it's close. Which bun? No.
What's a periscope?
What's a periscope?
It's the thing that goes up from the, what's submarine? Submarine sandwiches. What are we doing?
Close.
Playing a game.
What is a periscope?
Okay, let me tell you what a periscope is. That's what RoLayne uses to see over the hood of her Cadillac. Okay, here's the next one.
Oh, so we have to be nice. All right.
No.
Here we go. Here we go. Now listen up. You guys are a bunch of dummies.
Hey, wait a minute. Why is Bun close to Cadillac?
She tried, Court.
She
tried.
said something related to RoLayne.
Come on. It's going downhill fast.
Okay,
You're
here,
supposed to open your mouth.
anybody can guess. Anybody can guess. Even you. Okay, here's the third one.
Okay.
Shoehorn.
Arnie's number 14. That's good.
Close, that's close.
Shoehorn.
That's what Arnie uses to get in his
His
car.
Okay, now here is one. Ready? Resistance to change. Resistance to change.
Mom, what are you doing?
To change. It was good on the first one, but not the second.
Think.
Okay. I
Resistance to
thought I was
change.
gonna have to open more candy. You guys are just not saying anything.
Well, that's a real easy one.
I got full belly.
Resistance to change.
Arnie not wanting to put money in his pocket.
There you go.
That's a try.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Resistance to change is.
Give us another clue. That's mine.
It has to do with RoLayne's.
Okay.
That helps? Her hair.
She doesn't like
I caught that before you.
You guys are probably thinking nice things. Don't think nice things.
Is that it?
Here's the answer. I've got written that's RoLayne's hairstyle. She's worn it that way for 20 years, and she'll probably wear it that way for 20 more.
Has it only been 20?
Okay, here's an action one.
Okay, now this is an action. Okay?
This is a football. You talk football.
Touchdown.
This is Arnie giving in to RoLayne's.
That's close, that's close.
Prayer.
Prayer. Okay, any other ideas?
Any fresh ideas?
You know what that is?
Natalie.
Arnie, can you guess?
The basketball hoop.
This is what the policeman made Arnie do when he tried to smuggle the liquor across their state line in the trunk of his car.
I did that.
Okay, this is another action.
Can't reach us. Stay for the cooker. RoLayne, don't look at Arnie, not tonight.
That's close, that's real close.
RoLayne playing with Arnie, not tonight.
RoLayne watching her house burn down.
No, let me tell you what it is.
Just got a license.
This is Elmer begging Arnie to get us out of the press box.
Now, why is that funny?
A lot of this stuff
You get that one?
Are we? I'm afraid that's where we are.
Yeah, you out of the bubble. Yeah, bubble.
Okay, all right. You're good sports. This one's a picture, okay? Now pay attention. Tell me if I've got it right side up.
That's right.
Answer.
And rolling answer.
Close.
Boobs.
Boob? Well.
One up. Amazing answer.
Close.
Yeah, sounds good.
Arnie's responses to comedians over University Youth Athletics or something. No,
That's what you get from Arnie when you ask him a question.
something like that.
Have you ever got a straight answer on
It's the old yo-yo syndrome. I like that.
How many candies do you have, Bard?
I gave up.
Okay, here's the next one. Mission field.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the religious side now.
Now we're getting religious. Michigan? No, mission
Karen did
field.
The 40th home run.
That doesn't get a candy.
Any
Wasn't that the
ideas?
movie about Cambodia?
He's helping.
The farthest thing from Arnie RoLayne's future plans.
Oh, good. Actually, the mission field is the entire world. North of Rexburg, Idaho, south of Mesa, Arizona, and east or west of the Salt Lake Valley.
I was just gonna say that.
They get worse then.
Okay, Okay, I got
We're done with
Try
that
this one. Try this one. This is another one. This is a one word. I'll say it once. Provo.
Harder.
Everybody's close.
Mom's got a lot.
Okay, you want to hear the real answer?
Okay, here's what promo is.
Provo, that's what the whole world might become if everybody would repent. Okay. All right, you'll like
Elmer
this.
made this one up. Detroit.
That's what Provo
I know that. That's where the Red Sox are going to play the Tigers in September.
Exactly right.
Is that the answer?
Actually, what he wrote down for me to say is that's where Tom Newman lives and where the Boston Red Sox play baseball 6 times a year.
And where first don't you go?
Yes.
Okay. Is it still my
This
turn?
is the picture. This is the picture.
And I do this one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the little thing that we take on trips in the motor. We take on trips with our family.
Good. Good.
Okay.
What Jeff is looking for next week.
Help wanted?
Help wanted, Jeff.
Oh, gosh.
Thanks, Mom.
Any last minute guesses? This is what RoLayne's going to need the first time she goes to the grocery store and can't find her way back to the mission. Which one?
Okay.
Don't tell how much that.
That's for Dick. See? Oh, why not? That's for Dick.
I mean, the fan.
Okay.
Okay, you can do that. Greeny. This is for Arnie. Greeny.
No. Oh, you're going to, okay, go ahead.
Greeny.
Beginning missionary.
What?
That's what he's gonna be instead of already.
Instead of a ready? Okay, you know what Greeny is? A Greeny is a missionary who is so new in the mission field that he still believes his mission president is always inspired and that his girlfriend will wait. Okay.
Okay. We've got just 2 more. I'll do this one.
He's okay, Jody.
Families are forever.
It's a song.
Hey, close.
Sign on the wall.
He is racking it up over here. Feel a little bit more
That's it for you, though.
It's
Okay, tell him what families are forever is.
Okay, that's what Arnie and RoLayne will believe after they've been in Detroit for a year and a half, and we've all been back to visit them 5 times.
careful, I better earn this.
Okay, here's the last one.
San Francisco.
All right.
Tell him what it is.
That's all of us heading out for the fun times after RoLayne and Arnie leave.
Okay, Sharon, Dick, I don't know who's representing your family.
Michelle and Paul.
Okay.
Their favorite memories of the parents.
Yeah, food.
Michelle's really thrilled with this assignment.
He always does this one.
I think you gotta stand up here.
I don't want to stand up there.
Why?
Oh, Mom asked me to talk about Hawaii. And I can't remember anything about Hawaii. Except that Bard and Mary Ann didn't know. And it was so much fun without you. Okay, let's see. What I remember about Hawaii is we had a big, was it red or orange van? Orange and yellow. Orange and yellow van.
You wanna help her?
Kind of looks like a Hertz van. And it had snow tires on, right? In Hawaii. The only van in Hawaii that had snow tires on. And I remember that RoLayne went everywhere with us, with Luann and Sean Arnie didn't come anywhere with us. He was always out golfing. I remember one time we were on our way to the Polynesian Cultural Center, and Elmer was driving the van. And if you remember correctly, we had to go around the hotel, and the golf course would kind of sit right in between the hotel and the freeway. And Elmer rolled down the window, and he saw Arnie in his red pants and gave him his big Ute call. You know that? Do it, Elmer. Yeah, the big Indian one. Hoping that it would interrupt his swing, but it didn't. And then, let's see what else I remember.
I didn't take my clubs that trip, did I?
No, I don't know, but you were always golfing, Arnie. We would come back and you were still
I
golfing.
was working.
And one other thing I remember, very distinctly, I don't know if Arnie remembers this, but it was New Year's Eve night. And I was walking on my way over to Arnie and RoLayne's hotel because the smaller part of the family had to stay in the AA hotel, not the AAA hotel. And I was rounding a corner, and I had to go through this. It was kind of a dark alley, and all of a sudden these two big black guys that played on one of the basketball teams kind of pinned me in the corner. And I was kind of nervous, and they were talking to me in their jive talk. And the next thing I knew, there was this massive hand reaching out for me. And there was Arnie with his golf tee in hand. But that's all I remember about Hawaii. Plus gaining 10 pounds.
You really got cornered, huh?
Yeah. Never did come down. Paul.
I was asked to provide some memories upon the deer hunt with the Farrens, and I got the Farrens. And there aren't too many fond memories since I was really the only one who ever got the bucks in the group between us. But I really was sympathetic. Yeah.
It's okay, Dad.
I was very sympathetic with Seth, and Arnie, I can assure you that I'll fulfill the fatherhood image that Trace might have lacked a little bit on the hunts in the years to come while you're gone, and bring home some rags for him. But you know, I had a dream the other night. I had a dream of Arnie's first experience out tracking. And Brad and Court and Doug and Sean and the rest of us can all relate to this. You never know what you're going to come upon. And Arnie came upon this Catholic father, or this priest. And Arnie obviously was very excited about being on his mission, and he wanted to convert this Catholic father. And it kind of got into a little debate on who was the smartest out of the two. Arnie thought that he was much smarter because, you know, he belonged to the LDS Church, and the Catholic father, vice versa. So anyway, it kind of got into a heated discussion, and Arnie says, you know, you Catholics are so dumb, you can't even count to 10. And the Catholic father says, you want to bet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there, Arnie. And Arnie says, yeah, but you can't even count any higher than that. He says, you want to bet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Tell him again, Paul.
Hey, but on a serious note, Arnie, and RoLayne, just to pass on a little bit of advice that was given to me on my mission. When I was out about 5, 6 months, an elder told me in his own conference, or he told the group, a mission gives you 2 years to work, in your case 3. A mission gives you 3 years to work and eternity to reflect back upon it. So my challenge to you is to keep the mission rules, to work your hardest, and you will always remember the highlights of your 3 years out there.
Sean, you wanna
Maybe you'll crack out whole champagne.
That'll be a challenge.
Yeah. I don't know, can I go last? You know, growing up in the Farron household was a very difficult experience. It was a tough upbringing.
We sure love you. It was a difficult upbringing. How many of you have ever played a game with Arnie and won? Really?
He lied.
You had to cheat then.
He used both hands in the thumb fight.
I still have friends that are mad because you couldn't come to the Farron house on Halloween and get candy. You had to come, you gambled, right? Friends still don't talk to me. I called Mark Weber, who's kind of like one of the family, and asked him what one of his recollections was of Arnie and RoLayne. So I wanted to put that one in. And Mark said within about 30 seconds, you know the time I remember once, Ogden was playing Leighton in football. I took the snap, threw it to Jeff Carden, who was running around the left end. Jeff was tackled out of bounds and came up swinging. And of course, both benches emptied onto the field. And where do you think Arnie and RoLayne were? Arnie was in the stands. RoLayne was on the field swinging her purse. And sticking her finger out. Don't you hurt my boys! Perhaps the hardest part about Arnie and RoLayne going is we won't have the chance to talk to them intimately like we do now. And perhaps the second hardest part is that they're going to be out striving to live Christ-like lives while the rest of us are still here feeling guilty. And as I think about those, there's a couple of things I want to get off my chest about my upbringing. Between my sophomore year and my senior year, we had to replace the rear end on the Jeep 3 times. And while I was driving the Jeep at those times, I don't think it was really my fault, and I want you to know that. I don't think it was really my fault. I did this the other day. I was speaking at a conference and talking about fraud and forgery. And several times said Ford and forgery. It really wasn't my fault because Bard was the one who taught me how to speed shift. And there was an older woman who lived across the street from us, Benita Davis. And remember the time she called you guys and was very afraid that some young boys had been harassing her at night? And while I was with Mark and Jeff, it really wasn't my fault. Because Trace was the one who taught me how to tie the string onto the clothespins, and then you could hook the clothespin onto the mailbox, and if you pulled it a little bit, you could slam the mailbox. And if you pulled it hard, the clothespin came off and you could run away and they never knew what happened. So I was there, but it was really Trace's fault. Thank you. And last, all of you know that there's the, Mom and Dad have that beautiful leather top table in the living room. It's been there for most of my life. It's the one my initials are carved on the side of. I just want you to know that since I've been about 6, I've taken the blame for that. Of course, I did it in elementary school. I sat down in Jeff Carden's seat in the classroom and carved Jeff Carden's initials in it. And I got blamed for that. But after all this time, I want you guys to witness something.
Luann Farron, huh?
Right? Luann Farron.
Oh, very good.
Huh? I feel much better now.
That gets you closer.
Elmer and Marianne, if wardrobe was a consideration in assigning mission presidents, where would Arnie be a mission president?
Hawaii.
If what, Bart? If wardrobe was a consideration in assigning mission presidents, where would Arnie be a mission?
Palm Springs.
Iran.
Jamaica. Wardrobe. Red China. Red China. No, Arnie can have his own church in Red China. It was interesting.
Thank you. When Paul was talking about deer hunting, I quickly thought back to the first deer that we ever killed. And we went bow hunting. Who owns all these kids? Trace and I went bow hunting, and we went out and shot a deer just before dark. We threw it in the back of the Jeep and drove up to Lauren's place. You ever been there? Yeah, you guys have been to Lauren's place. When we got there and we took this deer out of the Jeep and hung it in a tree, and Trace and I both looked at it. Look, what do you do now? And we stood there not knowing what to do for about 15 minutes, and finally RoLayne came over and said, give me a knife. And she gutted the first deer that we ever killed because we didn't know. And I had forgotten about that. And then she skinned it, and then she chewed the hide and make slippers and gloves. A lot better than that. She chewed the hide.
This was last year. And I started thinking about them going on a mission, and the thing that I am most concerned about is Michigan. I'm not sure that Michigan is ready, because RoLayne will get there July 3rd. So by July 4th, Michigan will be organized. July 5th, there'll be a family party for Michigan. And if just this one time, the only time ever you have a prior commitment and you just can't make it, just this once, you really have something that you've committed to a long time ago and you won't be able to attend. This one time, this is the only time that you won't be able to be there, then go ahead and bring the cookies. Dinner is at 6. The other thing Michigan will have to adjust to is they won't need landfills because nothing will be thrown away in Michigan for 3 years. There are some things we all need to be concerned about. I don't know about the rest of you, but they say you can't hear the players talk from way up there in the stadium. That concerns me. I think some of us have become accustomed to sitting down where what the players are saying is kind of part of the conversation that we're used to. There have been lots of fun times. I appreciate the effort of RoLayne keeping us all together, at least our side, and I know you other mothers do it on the other side, but I think that's an effort that we need to continue to make sure that we get together. And I think you guys have done a nice job of that, and we need to pick up the slack all our own. Thank you.
I was trying to think of something to say about Arnie, and I couldn't think of anything really. So I intercepted a letter that was sent to him. And they haven't seen this letter yet, and I'd like to read it to you. It kind of expresses the feelings I think that a lot of people have. It says, "Dear Arnie, I wanted to take a minute." Is that a Freudian slip? I wanted to take a minute to let you know how pleased we are to hear of your retirement from the university and your upcoming assignment in Michigan. We have had the occasion to spend some time in Detroit for business and have thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm sure that you will enjoy it as much as Salt Lake, if not more. Although we are not LDS, I understand the work in the mission field is very rewarding, and many times people wish they could stay longer than they are called to serve for. It is my understanding that the church provides transportation while you are officially serving in the mission. Through our business, we have made arrangements to provide you with the car if you would like to stay in Michigan longer than you are called for. I mention this because I heard through a friend of mine that Bo Schembeckler is falling out of favor with the University of Michigan supporters and may be retiring in 3 to 3.5 years. And I'm sure your expertise would be of great value to them if you were to stay and lend a hand. Arnie, if there is anything that we can do to make your stay in Michigan more enjoyable, please let me know. Sincerely, Gus Paulus. Yeah.
Nope.
One more no.
As a boy growing up in Ogden, I realized the importance of a good, strong father image. Somebody teach you, how to stay warm in the cold and how to thread a minnow on your fishing hook, how not to cry when you skin your knees, how to camp in the rain, and how to say damn when you make a mistake. And like Bart said, how to clean a deer and how to work really hard. What would a kid do without Ronnie? Just two things I want to mention. I got the impression when I was growing up that she thought of the three of us kind of as sissies.
Well.
I remember skiing one time and it was really cold. And so the family kind of went to the lodge, and RoLayne thought the snow was great. But she stayed out and skied, continued to ski because it was snowing so hard. She walked in the lodge, took off her glasses, and her skin is frozen to the glasses, and pulled it off. The rest of us, you know, we resisted out a long time previous to that. Mom was tough though, and she could handle it. The other thing I was going to mention, Bart already mentioned. That's the truth. I have to elaborate a little bit. Bart and I were hunting deer. We were bow hunting. Bart said it was about dusk. It was more like dark, and we were spotlighting the deer out in the field.
Oh, yeah, I remember now.
And it was interesting because I was driving. I must have been 16 and had the spotlight on this herd of deer. And the deer started to run, and I lost it in the spotlight. So Bart got out of the Jeep with his bow and arrow in hand and went running down the road and said he heard something up ahead of him. And so he shot. We got back in the Jeep and drove on. Oh, and about 100 yards, there was this deer with an arrow through its neck.
Named Steve
We
Martin.
We put it in the Jeep, and I remember Bart had shot the deer, and we were both kind of looking at each other like this. What are we going to do now? And Mom kind of gave us this "you sissies" look again. Grabbed that deer by the neck, put the rope around it, hauled it up in the air, and Bart put the knife into its gentle underside and punctured the stomach. The deer had been running, remember. It was full of hot, moist grass that immediately squirted out into Bart's face. Bart threw the knife on the ground, and I was no good because I was laughing off the grass. Mom took that knife and did clean that deer in about 10 minutes. It was the greatest cleaning job I've ever seen. I did bring something for her to kind of help her get started in the mission field. I brought this with love. It's a head of cabbage and a potato.
I don't have turkey bones, but I'll find some. Very much.
There's a few over here.
That's really all we have. I had thought maybe we'd do something else, but
Do it.
that's
Go for it.
Yeah.
Unless it involves us.
Let's do it.
let me just explain. I've got some of the members who are going to do this with me have said they'd just soon not. If there was a lot, by popular demand or something, we can maybe do it, but I'm not sure. Let me just preface it to say this, that Ro and Arnie have a couple of favorite songs. And perhaps many of you haven't heard them, and that if we were to perform them for you, they would be your favorite songs too, I'm sure. But maybe we can do that another time. In another place. It's not up to me.
Trace,
Come on, Sean.
here. Can I just say one thing in rebuttal? Because I don't want you to think I'm strange. I had a strange upbringing than many of you, because I was an only child for a long time, and when Ruth wanted to leave to go someplace, Leon babysat me, and I sat on the killing block on the floor of the packing company. So, while it may seem strange that I know how to clean a deer, it's because I know how to clean a cow. And there's some similarities. And it's because as I sat to answer the telephone, I learned just where you slit and pull.
Good thing you're not going to Wisconsin.
Why, I don't get that one. Okay, that's all we have.
No, where's the shovel?
It's right here.
There's the shovel.
There's the shovel.
Come on, Sean.
Do it. Come on.
Hard, get up there.
Humor us. Come on.
This has to last for 3 years.
Yeah.
Come on, Sean.
Come on,
I guess we just have to maybe explain a little bit. We've had the opportunity to perform these songs many times.
Well, let me tell you, when we go camping, we will sing some of these songs from an old album that we had when we were kids, that we listened to all the time. So Trace and Luann think that there is some correlation between going camping and singing some songs and performing in front of groups of people. They think, well, if we do that camping, certainly we can be paid to do that. And there is no correlation.
Why did you think we were going to pay you for this?
We usually get paid. We usually get paid.
So let's just do Bullet in My Shoulder. You can sing the lead, we'll do the back.
Does anybody have a pitch pipe?
We wouldn't get it anyway.
I got one.
Don't expect anything too good.
I need to think about how it goes. Oh no, this is fine.
We haven't done this for a while, so
No.
it's been a year.
It's been a year.
Oh, you can take that.
Trace, you've been practicing?
He
I
did.
played the album today, just in case we did this. I'd know the words.
And I didn't hear it.
You're right.
If any of you decide because of the rhythm or the harmonics you'd like to get involved with this, sing along if you know the words, or just kind of move to the rhythm, you're more than welcome to do that.
Oh, bring those hands together.
You're doing it. You wanted to do it.
Just an idea. Okay. Bullet in my shoulder, blood running down my vest. 20 in the posse, and they're never gonna let me rest. Till I became a wonder man, I've never even owned a gun. Nah. But now they hunt me like a mountain cat, and I'm always on the run. I killed poor Jed in the bad Laredo fight. Killed him with my bare hands, poor girl I loved that night. Jed brother's out to get me, he's coming with a hand. Well, I'd rather shoot it out right now and let him watch me hang. Bullet in my shoulder, running down my vest. 20 in the posse, and they're never gonna let me rest. Till I became a wanted man, I never even owned a gun. Nah, but now I'm like a mountain cat, and I'm always on the run.
You want to sing?
No tears today. No tears today.
No cheers today.
Thank you for getting together with us. I know how hard it is to get everyone going in the same direction. But we want you all to know that the next direction should be mission. And we've got lots of sleeping bags, because that's where we put the missionaries. And it will be a growing experience for all of us, particularly for Arnie and me. And I can't stand to think you're doing this without us, but I really hope you do.
Give me your dark glass.